Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Sophie, and today feels a little special, doesn't it?
It really does. I'm Leo, and when we chose today's topic, I actually felt a bit emotional.
Same here. Today, we're talking about something many adults quietly struggle with. Start speaking English in 2026.
Yes, not start learning, not start thinking about it, but start speaking. That word can feel scary.
Especially if you've studied English for years, but still freeze when it's time to talk.
Or if you keep telling yourself, next year I'll be ready.
In this episode, we want to be honest, warm, and real. No pressure, no perfection, just a conversation.
We'll share our own stories, the fears, the excuses, and also the small moments that change everything.
And maybe while listening, you'll think, this sounds like me.
If that happens, you're exactly in the right place.
Before we start, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us reach more learners.
And we've prepared a PDF with the full conversation. You can study later.
All right, let's take a deep breath together and start. What about you, Leo?
You know, Sophie, when I hear start speaking English in 2026, I think about how many times I promised myself I would start next year. Every January, I felt motivated for about 2 weeks, and then real life came back. Work, family, stress, and suddenly English went to the bottom of the list again.
I can relate so much. For many adults, English isn't just a language. It's connected to confidence, to missed chances, and sometimes even to shame. People say, I understand English, but I can't speak, and you can hear the disappointment in their voice.
Exactly. And I think one big reason is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding stupid, fear of being judged. I remember my first real conversation in English. My hands were shaking, and my mind went completely blank.
That blank feeling is very common. There's a useful expression for this. My mind went blank. It means you suddenly can't think of anything, even if you know the words. It happens to native speakers too, not just language learners.
That's such an important thing to say. Many learners think they're the only ones. They think everyone else is confident and fluent, but that's not true. Most people feel nervous when they speak a foreign language.
And another thing I hear a lot is, I'll start speaking when my English is good enough. But good enough for what? For who?
Yes, that sentence is a trap. Let's explain another everyday expression here. It's a trap. It means a situation that looks safe or logical, but actually stops you from moving forward. Waiting to be perfect is exactly that.
I love that explanation. And honestly, if you wait until you feel ready, you might wait forever. Speaking is not the result of perfect English. Speaking is how you build better English.
That reminds me of something a student once told me. She said, "When I speak, I hear my mistakes, and it hurts." That sentence stayed with me.
That's very honest. But making mistakes doesn't mean you're failing. It means you're trying. There's another useful phrase here, step by step. It means doing something slowly, one small action at a time, instead of all at once.
Step by step changed everything for me. I stopped trying to speak like a native speaker. I just tried to speak like myself, but in English. Short sentences, simple words, real thoughts.
And that's powerful. Adults often think learning should be fast, but real change is usually quiet and slow. One small conversation, one message, one brave moment.
I also think age plays a role in our minds. People in their 30s or 40s say, I'm too old to start. But that's another story we tell ourselves.
Yes, and it's not a kind story. Language doesn't care about age. What matters more is consistency, showing up again and again, even when you're tired.
That brings us to another common expression, show up. It doesn't mean being perfect. It just means being there and trying, even on bad days.
I like that one a lot. Showing up for yourself is an act of self-respect, and speaking English can be part of that, not a punishment.
When I finally understood that, English stopped feeling like a school subject. It became a tool, a bridge, a way to connect.
And connection is why many people started learning English in the first place. to travel, to work, to make friends, or simply to feel more confident in the world.
Exactly. And 2026 doesn't have to be another year of promises. It can be the year you actually start speaking, even if your voice shakes.
Because courage doesn't mean no fear. It means speaking with fear. And honestly, that's enough.
More than enough.
When you say speaking with fear, it makes me think about how adults are very good at hiding their fears. We go to work, we take care of responsibilities, and from the outside, we look confident. But inside, many people feel small when they open their mouth in English.
That's so true. And I think that hidden fear is heavier than open fear. When you hide it, you feel alone with it. You think, everyone else can do this. Why can't I? That thought can slowly kill motivation.
I hear that sentence all the time, and it's not fair to yourself. Everyone's journey is different. Some people had English in their daily life, others didn't. Comparing yourself to others usually leads to frustration.
Comparison is dangerous. There's a simple expression we can share here. On your own path. It means your progress doesn't have to look like anyone else's. Your speed, your style, your mistakes are all part of your personal journey.
I love that idea. And when learners accept that, something changes. They stop asking, am I good, and start asking, am I improving? That's a much healthier question.
Improvement can be very small too. I remember celebrating the first time I ordered coffee in English without switching to my native language. It sounds simple, but for me, it felt like a big win.
Those small wins matter so much. Another useful phrase here is a big win. It means something that feels important and positive, even if it looks small to others. Language learning is full of these moments.
And those moments build confidence slowly, not suddenly, not magically, but like adding bricks to a wall. One brick doesn't look like much, but together they become strong.
That's a beautiful image. And confidence in speaking English often comes after you act, not before. Many people wait to feel confident, but confidence usually comes from doing the thing you're afraid of.
Yes, action first, feeling later. I wish someone had told me that earlier. I wasted years thinking I needed more grammar before I spoke. In reality, speaking helped me understand grammar better.
That's such an important point. Grammar is useful, but it shouldn't stop your voice. Your message is more important than perfect sentences.
And people are kinder than we imagine. Most listeners don't focus on your mistakes. They focus on your meaning. They're usually thinking about their own words, not judging yours.
That's very comforting, and it connects to another everyday expression. You're not alone. When you struggle with English, you're part of a very large group of adults around the world.
Exactly. Millions of people feel the same fear before speaking. Knowing that can reduce the pressure. It turns a personal problem into a shared human experience.
I also want to talk about excuses, because we all have them. I don't have time, I'm too tired, my pronunciation is bad. Some of these are real challenges, but some are shields.
That's honest. We use excuses to protect ourselves from disappointment. If we never try, we never fail. But we also never succeed.
That's the sad part. And starting to speak English doesn't require hours a day. Sometimes it's 5 minutes of talking to yourself, or one short voice message.
That reminds me of another expression, little by little. It means progress happens in small amounts over time. This mindset removes pressure and makes learning feel lighter.
Little by little is realistic for adults with busy lives. You don't need to change everything. You just need to begin.
And once you begin, something interesting happens. English stops being an idea and becomes a habit. Habits feel less emotional and more natural.
That's a key moment. When speaking English becomes part of your routine, fear loses its power. It doesn't disappear completely, but it gets quieter.
And in that quiet space, your real voice starts to appear. Not a perfect voice, but a real one.
And that real voice is enough to start 2026 differently.
Yes, not with pressure, but with intention.
When you say intention, I think about how powerful that word is. Intention feels calmer than goals. Goals can feel heavy, like something you might fail at. Intention feels like a direction, not a test.
I agree. When I changed my goal from I must speak perfect English to I want to express myself, everything felt lighter. I wasn't fighting the language anymore. I was using it.
That's such an important shift. Many adults learned English in school with exams and red marks, so speaking English still feels like being tested, even years later.
Yes, and that memory stays in the body. Your heart beats faster, your voice changes, and suddenly you feel like a student again, not an adult with experience and ideas.
And that's unfair, because adults have so much to say. Life experience, opinions, emotions. English is just a tool to share them, not a measure of intelligence.
I wish more learners understood that. Making mistakes doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you're brave enough to use it.
That connects to another useful expression, give yourself credit. It means recognizing your effort and progress instead of only seeing what's missing.
That phrase helped me a lot. I used to focus only on what I couldn't say. Now I try to notice what I can say, even if it's simple.
Simple English is not weak English. Clear, simple sentences are powerful. Many native speakers prefer simple language because it's easier to understand.
Absolutely. And simple language is often more honest. You don't hide behind complex words. You speak from the heart.
Speaking from the heart is what makes communication real. And real communication is the reason to start speaking in 2026, not grammar rules.
There's also something emotional about choosing a new starting point. Saying, "This year I will try differently," feels like hope.
Hope is a quiet but strong feeling. It doesn't shout. It just stays with you and says, maybe this time.
And this time can be different if you change how you talk to yourself. Instead of I'm bad at English, you can say I'm learning.
That's a huge difference. Words shape emotions, and emotions shape behavior. Being kind to yourself can actually improve your speaking.
Another expression we can share here is be patient with yourself. It means accepting that progress takes time and not attacking yourself for being slow.
Patience is hard, especially for adults. We want results quickly because we already waited so long. But rushing often creates more stress.
Stress blocks learning. When you feel safe, your brain opens. When you feel judged, it closes. Creating a safe space for yourself is essential.
That safe space can be a podcast, a notebook, a speaking partner, or even talking to yourself while walking. It doesn't have to be perfect.
And you don't need confidence to start. Confidence grows after many imperfect tries. People often forget that.
I also think about identity. When you speak English, you might feel like a different version of yourself. Maybe quieter, maybe simpler.
That can feel uncomfortable, but that version is still you. It's just you in progress.
I love that idea. You in progress. Not broken, not late. Just becoming.
And becoming doesn't stop at a certain age. Learning keeps us alive mentally and emotionally.
So, starting to speak English in 2026 is not just about language. It's about growth, courage, and self-respect.
And about allowing yourself to be a beginner again, without shame.
That's a beautiful place to be, actually.
It really is.
Being a beginner again can feel uncomfortable, but it can also feel surprisingly free. When you accept that you're learning, you stop pretending, and pretending is very tiring.
That's so true. Pretending to understand, pretending to be confident, pretending not to care. Once you stop pretending, you save a lot of energy.
And that energy can go into practice. Not stressful practice, but honest practice. Speaking even when your sentences are simple and your accent is strong.
Accents are another big fear. Many adults think their accent is a problem, but an accent is just proof of effort. It means you learned another language.
Exactly. There's a nice expression for that. An accent is not a mistake. It's part of your story. It shows where you come from and how far you've traveled.
I wish more people believed that. When I stopped fighting my accent, I started enjoying conversations more. I focused on connection, not perfection.
Connection is the key word. People remember how you make them feel, not how perfect your grammar was.
And when you connect, something beautiful happens. English stops being foreign. It becomes personal.
That's when speaking feels less scary and more natural. Not easy, but meaningful.
I also think routines help a lot. Not big plans, just small habits. 5 minutes a day of speaking out loud can change everything over time.
That's true. Another helpful expression is make it part of your life. It means English doesn't live only in books or apps, but in your daily moments.
Like describing your day in English, talking about your thoughts, or reacting to a podcast like this one.
Exactly. And when you miss a day, it's okay. You don't quit, you just continue the next day.
That mindset is very important. Progress is not a straight line. Some days you feel confident, some days you feel stuck.
Feeling stuck doesn't mean you're failing. It often means you're growing, and your brain is adjusting.
I like that idea. It turns frustration into a sign of progress.
And if someone is listening now and thinking, I've tried so many times, I want them to know something.
Me too. Starting again is not weakness, it's strength.
Every restart means you still care, and caring is the first step to change.
So maybe 2026 is not about pressure or big promises. Maybe it's about permission.
Permission to speak badly, to make mistakes, to sound simple, and to keep going anyway.
Permission to take space in another language.
If you give yourself that permission, speaking English becomes possible.
And not just possible, enjoyable.
We truly believe that.
And we're really glad you spent this time with us today.
Remember, you don't have to be ready. You just have to begin.
And when you begin, you're already on the way.
See you in the next episode.
Take care and keep speaking.